Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Zdenko Kozul and Sergei Rublevsky. This amazing chess game was played in Tripoli in 2004. Zdenko Kozul had white pieces and he started with d4. Did you know that Zdenko Kozul was Yugoslav, Bosnian and Croatian champion? Sergei Rublevsky played d5, c4, the queen's gambit, c6 declined, going for Slav or maybe semi-Slav defense, knight to f3, knight to f6, e3, a6. This is how Chabanenko enjoyed to play against the queen's gambit. White to move, knight from b to d2 was played. If knight to c3, then black usually plays b5. Back to our game. Knight from b to d2, bishop to f5, developing the bishop before playing e6, bishop to e2, e6, castling, bishop to d6, c5, gaining the space on the board, but releasing the pressure on the pawn on d5, bishop to c7, still aiming at h2, b4, knight from b to d7, bishop to b2, knight to e4. This position was reached for the first time in 1925. White played a4 and came second. In this game, Kozul played a4 too, black to move. In the before mentioned game, player with the black pieces castled, kingside. In this game, Rublevsky played queen to f6. So, if white had an improvement, black played a different move to ruin the plan. Knight takes on e4, d takes on e4, knight to d2, queen to h6. Black pieces are nicely positioned to attack the white king. The threat is checkmate. g3, knight to f6, white to move, and white must counter quickly on the queen side before black improves his position on the king side. So, b5, very logical move. Queen to h3, h5 and h4 may come soon. It is scary and white must have very good nerves. White to move. B takes on c6 was expected because white is supposed to fight on the queen side. Maybe. There was a surprise. b6. Well, this looks wrong on the surface, because, like I said, white is supposed to fight on the queen side, not to close the queen side. Black to move. Bishop to d8, and one less black piece is aiming at the white king now. f3, h5, knight takes on e4, bishop takes on e4, white to move. How would you continue? Well, f takes on e4 was expected. Rook to f2 was played. Let's take it back. What's going on? If f takes on e4, then h4 and black is better. If, for example, g4, queen takes on e4 check, and after king to h1, knight takes on e4, and black is winning. And I like to show you one very cool variation. Rook to f3, but then, what happens then? Queen takes rook, check. Bishop takes queen, knight to f2 check, king to g2, knight takes queen, rook takes knight, h3 check, and black is winning. Back to our game. So in this position, instead of pawn takes bishop, rook to f2 was played. It is black to move. Rublevsky played the strongest move, knight to g4. Let's take it back. If bishop to h7, then e4 with bishop to f1 to follow. And where is the black queen going? Back to our game. So in this position we have knight to g4. Attacking the rook. What is the best square for the rook? What happens if the rook goes to g2? Then knight takes on e3, and black is winning. Let's take it back. I guess some players with the white pieces in this position would simply capture the knight. Do you agree? Let's see what happens if pawn takes knight. Then h takes on g4, and after queen to f1, then are you ready to see the move? Then queen takes pawn on g3 check. Rook to g2 is the best defense, and then queen takes on e3 check, queen to f2, queen takes queen check, king takes queen, f5 with a winning attack. And let's go back to this position. If instead of rook to g2, white plays h takes on g3, then rook to h1, checkmate. Back to our game. So in this position, Zdenko Kozul played queen to e1, knight takes rook, queen takes knight, bishop to g6. There is an impression that the dust has settled and black is a piece up. That's one way of thinking. But watch how white takes the initiative. Bishop to f1, attacking the black queen, queen to f5, e4, attacking the queen again, queen to g5, f4, attacking the queen again, queen to e7, f5, bishop to h7, d5. Black to move. Perhaps Rublevsky considered c takes on d5, but he castled kingside. He castled while he can. D takes on c6, b takes on c6, and white has a potentially dangerous passed pawn on the b file. Bishop to e5, queen to d7, bishop to d6, plugging the hole. Bishop to e7, white to move. How would you continue? You don't want to play e5, because then you will weaken the pawn on f5. For example, if e5, then bishop takes on f5. So, Kozul played rook to d1, rook from f to d8, queen to f4, bishop takes on d6, rook takes on d6, queen to e7, and now rook takes on c6. Black is still better materially. He has a rook against two pawns, but these two pawns are now dangerously close to the promotion. Rook to d7, white to move. How would you continue? Kozul played bishop takes on a6, surprising his opponent with this move. Pawn takes pawn on f5. Let's take it back. If rook takes on a6, then rook to c8 check, and after rook to d8, b7, and white wins. Back to our game. Pawn takes pawn on f5. Rook to c7. Black to move. Perhaps rook from a to d8 should have been considered. But maybe that looked too ordinary for Rublevsky, so he decided to play what he thought was a winning move, g5. This is the critical position of the game. It is white to move. What is the best square for the queen? What would you do? Please pause and find the best move for white. What happens if the white queen moves to a safe spot? Then rook may take on a6, and let's take it back. What if the queen goes to f1, defending the bishop? Then rook takes on c7, and again black wins. Back to our game. So in this position, Zdenko Kozul played an absolutely amazing killer move. b7, sacrificing the queen. But the offer was not accepted. Rook to f8 was played. If pawn takes queen, then white wins. Just like that. Back to our game. In this position, rook to f8 was played, and now Zdenko Kozul did not move his queen. He played rook takes rook on d7, queen takes on d7, queen takes on g5. Now, check. Bishop to g6, queen to f4, intending to push the pawn to b8, queen to d4, check, king to g2, queen to b2, check, king to h3, f takes on e4, white to move. Zdenko Kozul played c6, another pawn rushing to the 8th rank, queen to b3, c7, queen to e6, check. Rublevsky was not thinking of winning anymore. He would be just happy with a perpetual and half a point. King to g2, queen to a2, check. But now queen to f2 blocking, queen to d5, threatening e3, check, winning the queen. What now? How would you continue? Zdenko Kozul played pawn to b8, queen. Rublevsky played e3, check. White played a move and black resigned, and the move is queen to f3. Rublevsky resigned. For the entertainment purpose, I will show you just one line. Bishop to e4, queen takes rook, check, king takes rook, and then pawn to c8, queen, check, king to g7, queen to c3, check, king to g8, queen takes on e3, bishop takes on f3, check, queen takes on f3, queen to a2, check, bishop to e2, queen takes on a4, queen takes on h5. And I guess we can stop here. What an amazing game. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.